Larva form, Cell's evolutionary stage. He can transform from his imperfect form back into his larva form at will, but will then need to take time to evolve back again. Imperfect form, Cell's mature form prior to absorbing Android 17 and 18. Flight, the ability to fly through the use of ki. In the case of imperfect Cell, he also emits a sound while flying that resembles buzzing sounds similar to when insects fly. Ki blast, the most basic form of energy wave. Ki sense, an ability that allows the user to sense ki and power levels. Biological extract absorption, Cell powers up by absorbing biological extract from ordinary targets, which ceases to be beneficial when Cell gets enough of each type of it. Ki, it is a technique where the user affects the air currents around him with ki to produce powerful shockwaves in order to strike the opponent. Laser, the user shoots laser-like beams from both eyes. Special beam cannon, the move is performed by touching the index and middle fingers of one hand to the forehead and charging enough ki to attack. Its speed changes to the power level of the user performing the move. When ready, the fingers are extended forward, and two thin energy beams are unleashed from the fingers. One remains straight while the other coils around the straight beam. The resulting beam is quite powerful, drilling through most targets, and exploding on the ones it can't. It can also be used with only one arm. Inherited from Piccolo. Kamehameha, a powerful ki blast fired with two hands after concentrating a large amount of ki. Inherited from Goku. Solar flare, the user places their hands close to the center of their face with the fingers spread toward their eyes. The user then calls out the name of the technique, which provokes a white light to fire out and blind everything watching except the user, since they are projecting the light. Inherited from Tien Shinhan. Prelude to perfect form, channeling the screaming souls of the humans he absorbed throughout the imperfect Cell saga. Cell generates a brilliant yellow aura with a wicked roar. Cell's power increases exponentially. Tail attack, a technique used by those who have tail in order to attack their opponents. They can use it to whip or constrict the opponent. Bio impact. First, imperfect Cell crouches down and charges a yellow aura around his body. Then, he charges at the opponent using the yellow aura as a shield, inflicting a great deal of damage. Chokehold, a hold used against Android 16. Zetsunai bullet. First, Cell charges at the opponent and punches them away onto the ground, breaking their neck. Then, he walks toward the opponent and picks them up with his left hand as he places his right hand over their chest. Finally, fires a large yellow energy wave through the opponent's chest, inflicting a massive amount of damage. Scion, this form multiples Cell's base power by either 10x or 50x his normal amount. Inherited from the Scions. Form change, by absorbing one of the androids, imperfect Cell will change into semi-perfect Cell, and then, by absorbing the other android, he will change into perfect Cell. While Cell's initial appearance is bug-like, absorbing the androids causes him to gain a more humanoid form, causing his wings to vanish. Vocal mimicry, alteration and amplification, Cell has the ability to speak, sing, whisper, yell, hum, etc. in any pitch or tone. He can speak in an extremely low pitch or a very high pitch. He displayed this ability by mimicking Android 17's voice and amplify his own so it could be heard for miles. In the anime, he is shown switching to the voice of his imperfect form, in order to terrify the people of the Earth during his TV broadcast about the Cell games as well as confirm his role in the massacre at Mickey Town. Big Bang Attack, in order to perform it, Cell extends his arm, opens his palm and turns his hand up at a 90-degree angle. He then condenses his ki in his palm and launches a ki blast that proceeds to detonate in a massive explosion. Inherited from Vegeta. Big Bang Crash. First, semi-perfect Cell extends his hand forward and forms a red sphere of energy. Then, he shouts, "Take this," and fires the attack at the opponent, inflicting a high amount of damage and even creating a large red dome of energy upon contact. Semi-perfect Cell can also control the intensity of the attack to blast his enemies without killing them. Super Big Bang Crash. Semi-perfect Cell says, "Very well," as he traps the opponent in a Big Bang Crash shot from his hand. Then, he appears above them and fires several Big Bang Crashes down at the trapped opponent. The accumulation of the Big Bang Crashes eventually results in a massive red explosion against the opponent, inflicting a huge amount of damage. Mouth Energy Wave, the user blasts a large amount of energy from their mouth. Gallic Gun, to utilize it, Cell curls his fingers and places both his hands together at chest level facing the same direction, so that the palm of one hand is on the back of the other. Then, once enough ki is gathered, he thrusts both hands forward to fire a powerful blast of energy. The result is a powerful, huge, fuchsia-colored ki beam that emanates from his hands and body. It is capable of destroying large planets if enough power is put into it. Inherited from Vegeta, but never used in the manga. Negative Power Rain, Cell punches and kicks his opponent into the air, then fires 9 energy blasts down at them. Inherited from Krillin, but never used in the manga. Explosive Wave, a technique where the user bursts out ki from all over their body in order to repel the opponents around them. Android Barrier, the user focuses their power into a barrier with double their normal defensive capabilities, allowing them to withstand attacks from an opponent of equal power or below. Inherited from Android 17. Special Life Form Absorption, Cell can change forms by absorbing special life forms, meaning Android 17 and 18. In Dragon Ball GT, Cell is also able to temporarily utilize this on Goku, though is ultimately unsuccessful. After reaching his perfect form, he attains his perfect speed, strength, and other traits. He also regains his wings in this form. Regeneration, the ability to regrow certain body parts or cells that have been dismembered or destroyed and replace them with brand new cells, or simply regrouping all of their separated parts back together. Unlike Piccolo, Cell requires very little energy to regenerate, as even the extreme regeneration of simply his core does not visibly tire him, potentially allowed him to regenerate as much as he wishes with no hindrance in stamina for battle. In the manga and most anime versions, Cell can regenerate only if the core inside his head is not damaged. Perfect combination. First, Cell charges at the opponent and kicks them up into the air. Then, he flies after the opponent and attacks them with a powerful punching and kicking barrage before slapping them away. Cell moves above the opponent and elbows them in their back, breaking their spine and knocking them down into the ground and inflicting a high amount of damage, and can also render the opponent unconscious. Super Saiyan 3rd grade, the second branch of advanced Super Saiyan forms, achieved through intense training in the Super Saiyan form. All natural inhibitions of the body are completely removed in this state, resulting in 100% utilization of strength and stamina reserves. Telekinesis, a technique that allows the user to manipulate objects and other people with the power of one's mind. Inherited from Frisia. Psycho Crash, the user grabs their target with telekinesis, lifting it with the raise of a hand. The user then waves their other hand through the air to cut it with invisible slashes of ki. All clear. First, Cell raises his left hand in the air and charges his energy enough to completely shroud the hand. Cell then fires the attack by turning in a complete circle while swinging his hand, creating many powerful explosions to his surroundings and inflicting a huge amount of damage. Backslap. Cell swings his right arm to deliver a quick chop and send his opponent flying. Power stance. Cell takes on a power stance as he powers up into his power-weighted form. Super Kamehameha, an advanced and more powerful version of the Kamehameha. Bending Kamehameha, a version of the Kamehameha for which the user can change the course, allowing the user to surprise his or her opponent. Multiform, to perform it, the user's power up and splits into two, then those two split clones into four. Unlike the afterimage technique, these are tangible clones, not just imprints left by speed. This technique has a quite obvious weakness, however. The four clones are created by the user's energy level divided into four. Inherited from Tien Shinhan, but never used in the manga. Death Saucer, a red energy disc with a super sharp magenta key edge that can be thrown at opponents to slice them up. Cell's use of telekinesis improves upon the original Destructo disc by making his death saucers remotely controlled, allowing him to track targets through maintained concentration, while breaking concentration, such as losing eye contact, reverts the saucers back to standard Destructo discs, leaving them flying in unprecedented directions. Inherited from Frisia, but never used in the manga. Afterimage Strike, an ability to move so swiftly that an image of the user is left behind. Ultimate Wave, Cell creates a vast, green energy sphere that, upon contacting with the ground, produces a powerful shockwave that travels in both directions from where it hits, inflicting great damage. Battering Ram, the flying headbutt he used against Goku. Rapid Fire, the user charges energy spheres in his hands and fires them one after another, inflicting a great deal of damage. Inherited from Piccolo, but never used in the manga. Ultimate Blitz, as he says something sounding like overheat, Cell releases a massive energy wave out of his palm and holds it toward his opponent, inflicting damage to the opponent. 1. Perfect Barrier. Perfect Cell curls his arms and legs together as he charges a purple aura around his body. He then brings them apart and expels a giant barrier around his body, capable of blocking certain attacks, similar to the super explosive wave. Death Beam. To perform the technique, the user extends his right arm and fires a small, thin, very fast and concentrated laser-like beam of ki from his index finger, which barrels down and pierces through the opponent. The user is able to fire the attack very quickly, while maintaining precise aim. Inherited from Frisia. Solid Hammer. Perfect Cell double axe handle punches the opponent. Then, he sidekicks the opponent away and flies after them to punch them in their stomach. Finally, Perfect Cell then knocks the opponent away with a ki, inflicting a huge amount of damage. Bear Hug. The user's arms are wrapped around the opponent, with the opponent's arms sometimes pinned to their body. The user's hands are locked around the opponent, who is held tightly to the user's chest. Birthing Cell Juniors. Cell creates Cell Juniors through cellular mitosis. Cell Juniors can extend their fingernails to great lengths, and are sharp enough to cause severe damage. Blasting Beam. It is an orange energy wave fired from both hands joined together. Taunt. Taunting is performed by a user performing some form of gesture, remark, or insult to annoy or enrage their opponent and throw off their thinking. This technique is performed by gathering energy, forming a vaguely diamond-shaped tunnel with the hands by keeping the fingers on each hand together, overlapping the index finger on the one hand with the pinky of the other hand, and overlapping the thumbs. Destructo Disc, a razor-sharp disc of ki that can slice through almost any substance, destroying Kamehameha. First, Perfect Cell cups his hands to his side and charges a Super Kamehameha. Then, he charges it with much more energy than usual. Lastly, he fires the beam in the form of a humongous energy wave, inflicting an enormous amount of damage. Power Up, a process used to gather ki and increase one's power level so that a greater advantage in battle can be obtained. Power-rated form. In this form, Cell becomes much larger than before, presumably thanks to the presence of Piccolo's Namekian cells in his body. Self-destruction form, a transformation that Cell takes out of desperation in order to kill the Z fighters along with the Earth. Unforgivable. When performed, Cell pumps himself up like a balloon and explodes after 1 minute. Cell has the ability to survive anywhere, in any condition without sustenance, even the most horrifying injuries. Scion Power, a Scion genetic trait that allows their performance to continually increase against adversity, either by recovering from a near-death experience, or by fighting a strong opponent. Instant Transmission, a technique for traveling long distances instantly. This action is usually accompanied by the user placing his index and middle fingers on his forehead to help him concentrate, though if extra time is taken the technique can be performed without this aid. Full Power Death Beam, the user extends his index finger forward and fires a death beam that is slightly bigger and more powerful than the original. Super Scion 2, the direct successor to the first Super Scion transformation. It is very similar to the original form in appearance and attainment, however, the power output is far greater, as speed, strength, and energy output all drastically increase. Time to die, Cell slaps his opponent away, leaving him unconscious on the ground, completely helpless. He then fires an incredibly powerful finger beam at them, dealing massive damage. Solar Kamehameha. First, Cell stores up an immense amount of energy as he prepares a Super Kamehameha. He then brings his hands forward and fires a blast that Cell claims has enough power to wipe out the entirety of Earth's solar system. Rush Down, the Kamehameha attack used by Cell in Hell against Goku, only for it to be reflected back at him. Named in the Dragon Ball Z collectible card game. Hell's Buster, both Cell and Frieza begin to glow, then a yellow ki emits from both of their bodies, which then envelopes their opponent, trapping him, earning an inescapable ki orb. Then, both the users throw the orb prison down into the deepest part of Hell with the prisoner in it. Used in Dragon Ball GT. Dual Tech, Cell charges his ultimate blitz and Frieza charges his death beam, and they then fire the blasts together at their opponent. Used in Dragon Ball GT. Maximum Blaster, a powerful energy blast fired from the mouth. Chomakoho Barrage, a rapid-fire version of the mouth energy wave. Disaster Ray, Cell Max writhes in anger as the black spots on its armor glow purple before emitting massive lasers in all directions. Explosive Scream, Cell Max's most powerful attack, moon-sized green energy blast which is condensed into one of comparable size to him. The Explosive Scream has the same gravitational pull as a black hole, energy absorption. The Explosive Scream absorbs energy from its surroundings to become even more powerful. Like the original Cell, Cell Max can continuously bloat to an absurd size until self-destructing in a supermassive explosion. However, his detonation ability is not as potent as the original Cell's and may only be activated after his head is destroyed. Max Barrier, Cell Max bursts out ki from his body and expels a giant barrier that ravages a wide range area.